Have you ever seen such a crazy actress? Because of her, the Hong Kong girls even coined the idiom of quality murderer. In her 20s, Quan Chi Lin had already tasted all the flavors of life. At the age of 18, because of the darkness of Hong Kong's entertainment industry at that time, she chose to marry a rich businessman 16 years older than her. She thought that the marriage would bring her happiness and stability, but the goons were inhumane. Not only was the marriage hastily terminated after only 5 months, the ex-husband was even more insulting, saying that he had no grounds to say that he was better than the woman he found in the street. After the divorce, Quan Chi Lin was more successful than Quan, but the Hong Kong paparazzi would never let go of a beautiful woman. They would boast about her beauty and use gossip to attract attention, saying that she had a relationship with Jackie Chan, and then saying that she had an affair with Andy Lau. No matter what program she appeared on, Quan Chi Lin would always be asked what her relationship with the gods of Yunnan was. And the worst of all was when the Hong Kong paparazzi threw mud at her in 1985, saying that she was in love with Ma Ching-wei and that she was in love with her husband. He said he was in love with Ma Ching-wei, and Guanjilin was lurked for a while. Everyone was accusing him while waiting to see his joke. After so many rumors, the true-hearted man did not want to get involved in these messes anymore and left. For a long time after that, there was no news of Guanjilin. Just when everyone thought that the most beautiful woman who was so beautiful in Xiangjiang River had disappeared, it turned out that she took her $150 million mansion on the hot list and lived a happy retired life. Her former beauty had disappeared, and all she left behind was a glimpse of her in the movie. Her most famous costume was the lively 13th aunt in Wong Fei Hong when she appeared without a face, but she was still beautiful, and Guanjilin's performance showed off the cheerfulness and playfulness of the 13th aunt. Later on, he collaborated with Jet Li again in Laughing Pride of the Wanderer 2 and Oriental Undefeatables, in which he played Renyi Ying. Although he didn't have much to do, he still expressed Renyi Ying's sorrowfulness. Apart from being able to act in ancient costume dramas, Guanjilin's modern-day role was also a good example of her ability to play a modern woman. The ancient costume drama Guanjilin's modern. Her costumes are also superb. Not only did she play the soft and cute musical girl in Dragon Butterfly with Jackie Chan, but also the mysterious and famous vintage girl in Capture of the Dragons. And even the most ordinary office worker in Wrongful Complaint. He could perform the distinctive flavor of an ordinary office worker with his knitted brows and smile. It would be a pity if such a character is not remembered by a movie, and it's because of the training of her acting skills that she was able to play the amazing 13th aunt. Perhaps the world can focus more on her role as an actress rather than the love-hate relationship in her private life. After all, who is right and who is wrong is something that no one can tell. It would be better to live in the present and look into the future. Who's the first? The first? The first? What is Quan Chi Lam's beauty that made Andy Lau gasp in admiration, and also made Leung Ka-fai lament that he got married too early? Once she started out in the movie, Quan Chi Lam was known as the most beautiful woman in the Xiangjiang River, and the face was also the best. This face is also the capital that brought him resilience. Not only dared not to say hello when he saw Chung Kwok Wing, but also scolded Jackie Chan during the filming of the movie God Knows How High. It's more than 10 floors. He was in a good mood, he was in the entertainment industry, and he was in a good mood, and he started his career in the movie. Every day I'd read the 4 flavors of the world, and his company arranged 5 TV series and 2 movies to try to promote him. But he was so busy with too many resources, he was so busy that he couldn't catch his breath and could only have 1 hour rest per day, so he ran away, took the opportunity to marry, and ran away from the movie industry. But his marriage lasted only 5 months. He escaped from the movie industry by marrying someone else, but marriage is no shelter. This marriage that lasted only 5 months not only took away Guan's love, but also affected his career. The divorce and bullying persona Guan resisted for 2 years before he got the chance to work with Jackie Chan, but maybe it was because she was too beautiful. People couldn't help but associate her with love. Soon after that, there were rumors about her and Jackie Chan, and her popularity deteriorated. Beauty is Guan's strength, but it's also her shackle. Because she's pretty, most of the roles she's been given by her directors have been vases, and it's enough for her to be quiet and serve as the hero's confidant. Red color. She's also thought about changing to more challenging roles, such as Green Snake's charming confidant Xiao Qing, but Sui Hark just told her that she wasn't right for the part and gave up on her. After that, many other directors have told him he only needs to be a beautiful woman, and so he has. So he tried to make a name for himself in the entertainment industry with his face. At first, the audience loved him. In 19, Quan Chi Lam seated on a stool and appeared in Jackie Chung's concert, wowing the audience. In 193, as a judge, he appeared in a beauty pageant, and he even outshone the winner, the Prime Minister, who was so beautiful that it was really amazing. However, gradually people got tired of seeing him, so his roles were no longer discussed, and instead, He was always brought up in his private life, and he was always a beauty queen. But eventually, his beauty was replaced by a beautiful woman. But eventually, the beauty was lost. Perhaps occasionally, when he thinks back, Guan also sighs. He once lamented in a program that he had been dragged down by love all his life and regretted that as an actor, he had never won any acting awards in his life. But fortunately, as the years passed, Guan also slowly looked at the situation in perspective. Over the past years, he has been learning skiing, skeleton, designing, and building up his own brand. He wanted to try out more possibilities and also wanted to find a career that would make him happy. Perhaps when he finally let go of his obsession with beauty and love, he was able to live his life to the fullest. Of all the roles played by Guan, the most famous was 13th Aunt in Wang Fei Hung. Like most of her roles, she was a beautiful, gentle Oriental woman who was always supportive of her lover. But in this story, she played a very important role. As a rich white woman who had returned from overseas, she had a distinctly Western brand. She wore dresses, she played with cameras, and at the same time, she passed on her ideology to the world, and she was a woman who was always there for her. She wears Western clothes and plays with the camera, and at the same time, she conveys this idea. He taught Wang Fei Hung how to shake hands, how to recognize the camera, and how to make suits for him. It was with 13th Aunt's help that Wang Fei Hung embraced the West and realized the fusion of Kung Fu with the East and accomplished his own evolution. Before 13th Aunt's help, Wang Fei Hung, though his Kung Fu skills were amazing, was still full of hatred for the foreigners, and he would impulsively fight against them when he was bullied. But after 13th Aunt infected him, he realized that foreigners weren't bad, and to a certain extent, the West represented modernization. However, after being infected by 13th Aunt, he realizes that foreigners are not all bad, and that to a certain extent, the West represents modernization. And so in his mind, there is not only the struggle between good and evil, but also the struggle between tradition and modernity. And the acceptance of 13th Aunt's love may be the most important step towards modernization. In Quan Chi Lam's portrayal, 13th Aunt appears to be gentle and affectionate, cheerful, and at the same time, uniquely Oriental in her shyness. Confessions in English. I Love You's playfulness makes the character of 13th Aunt even more realistic, and it is precisely because of Quan Chi Lin's interpretation that 13th Aunt has become the white moonlight in the hearts of several generations of moviegoers, and at least one of her roles can be recorded in the history books. Then Quan Chi Lin's role as a performer should not be considered as a failure.